coattails of the video game industry to digital superstardom. It's the young, upstart, fledgling gaming podcast, Ready Game Fire. If IGN, GameSpot and Joystick are the front runners in this field, then we are definitely the guys who have slipped through the back door without anyone really noticing. We've crawled through the cat flap, if you will, or silently slipped undetected into and up the arsehole of the video game industry. But now that we're here, welcome to Ready Game Fire, Episode 2. I am your host, Chris Fox. With me is 3D naysayer and rookie castle crasher, Steve Edwards.
Hello.
Nathan Drake pen pal and level 12 PSNer, Mike Power.
Power on.
And, oh my god, Mike. Oh, migraine. And calling in internationally from Canada is immigrant terrorist and fan of greed in general, Dan Afflis.
Well, sorry, Chris, I can't quite hear you because I was just taking a dip in my Scrooge McDuck swimming pool and I have coins in my ears.
Well, maybe you should use some sort of extra large Q-tip or cotton bud, depending on what side of the pond you're on, to get those doubloons out of your cochlea. Can I borrow some money?
Absolutely not, no.
Unbelievable. Now, I know that it's the very same reprobates as last episode, but that's Ready Game Fire. Unpredictable. Sorry, listeners. Sorry. It's Mike, Steve, Chris, and Dan again. So we're going to start with, what have you guys been playing? And Mike, what the fuck have you been playing?
I've been playing Fallout New Vegas this week, and it's been bloody brilliant. It's obviously the follow-up to Fallout 3, which was one of my favourite games of 2008, and hopefully a lot of other people's, because it's a massive open-world game, a wonderful moral choice system, and some really freaky guys shooting at you. I loved it.
Open world full of bugs and
no, the bugs have not been a problem for me at all, apart from the radioactive ones nibbling at my ankles.
No, I mean the bugs of the progression block of variety. Oh, no,
I haven't had those. It's been brilliant.
Not very far into it then.
I don't quite far into it, man. I've played a lot of it, and I've got to say, if you played Fallout 3 and you loved it, there's no worries of doubling up here. It's an excellent carry-on of that series, and I'd recommend checking it out. Interesting tidbit, someone apparently went 51 hours into the game without killing a single person or animal and completed the game. Options, people.
What's the point?
Options.
Why? I do that in everyday life, and I hate it. But yeah, I heard about that hardcore mode thing in
Oh, I'm scared of that.
Fallout New Vegas, and I suppose I'm not hardcore, because making sure you eat and drink to stay alive in a video game interests me not at all.
Kind of like The Sims.
No, I mean, oh my god. I play games to escape reality, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't play games to duplicate my nutritional intake.
Yeah.
I got tricked into thinking, wow, this is going to be brilliant, when somebody several years ago posted a video on YouTube of themselves going through Resident Evil 4 just using a knife, and I thought, wow, he is going to be gutting people here left, right and centre, but it was mostly him dodging his way out of trouble for many hours on end. So these things, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
I can claim, and I have.
Here we go.
I've done the entire, and this was accidental, by the way. I didn't just do this on purpose, but no one believes me. These guys don't believe me, but I completed the water temple in Ocarina of Time without the blue tunic, and no one believes me.
That's 'cause you're
and there's
lying.
videos on YouTube of people doing it.
If I played 51 hours of Fallout New Vegas without killing anyone, I would then go on on a rampage in RL, because that sounds unbearable. 51 hours. 51 hours.
But you can
Flies by.
walking through desert, eating food and sleeping.
with robots.
Oh my!
Was he in
Christ.
hardcore mode?
I don't know, man. But you can stick with robots. I'm obsessed with that. I don't know why.
Oh my God! Fallout New. Oh. Steve, what have you been playing, mate?
You've thrown me. I have gone for a new tactic, and instead of playing one game all the time, I've been sort of playing like a couple of minutes of a game the last few days. Just played Mass Effect 2 for 3 minutes this morning.
The Alzheimer's technique.
Yeah. I played Half-Life 2 Episode 2 for about 25 minutes last night. But yeah, I just not really been playing many games. I can talk about games if you want me to. If you want to throw a game at me,
Steve, here's your platform. Off you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Video games, a brief history.
One of the main criticisms of the show thus far from people writing in is they're saying we don't have enough video game content.
Well, I've got some gold here for you, Dan.
Hold on. We listen to our fans. We're going to address this criticism right now. Steve, what have you got there for us?
So I've got some news for people out there. It's to do with EVE Online. We've got some patch notes for the Tyrannus 1.2, which was deployed on Tuesday, November the 2nd, 2010. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Most of you know about this. Most of you probably already.
I'm on the edge of my
familiar with
fucking
this.
seat right now.
Right. New features include, guys. All right, got two for you. Not just one feature. Got two features. Upgraded inventory system to 64-bit numbers.
Jesus Christ.
I thought 64-bit. No, I've got no criticism. Group and category IDs in the static data dump are now 32-bit.
What are you on
So
about?
they couldn't do it all 64-bit, we'll have more of this next week. And any more suggestions you've got, bring them forward.
So let it not be said, basically, that we don't talk about games because there it's covered. Bam. Sorted. Eve patch info. Check back next week for more of that. It's a good job that 50% of this podcast have played games. This is what I've been playing this week. Undead Nightmare, as promised. I promised you I'd play that game, listeners, and I have. And let me tell you this. This is exactly what we need from downloadable content.
Hell yeah.
I love the fact that what was previously, even though you were getting shot at in this game, I always felt safe. And then all of a sudden, you go back, your little house, your little family. It gets fucked up by the undead.
Seriously, royally screwed.
Oh my god. Now, I was playing it by myself with the lights out late at night, which was foolish, because I was absolutely terrified for the first hour of that game. Oh my god. It's an established world, familiar characters, and then suddenly your wife's trying to eat your face.
Well.
So, oh my god, great. So here's my opinion. I liked it, okay? I've also been playing Super Meat Boy, which is a gorgeous, hard platformer. Not frustratingly hard, like a bad game, but rewardingly hard, like a good game. So Super Meat Boy is fantastic, as is Rock Band 3, even though my drum kit came out of the box partially working, so I had to send it back.
But you know what, Chris? That's okay, because you're currently in a state of cripplement.
Oh yes, the cripple.
Yeah, but doesn't stop my arms from trying to play the cymbals, does it?
Right, so you're not working the pedal.
Oh, I can use my left foot. I'm that talented.
No, I thought Rock Band 3 was super great, wasn't it? It was an excellent step up.
But I mean, we still like Rock Band 3 over here. I don't think many other people do.
No.
I think, especially in the hardcore community, they've fallen out of Rock Band love. Oh. So hopefully, I'll get my kit back. Yeah, and it'll be working this time, because pro mode was great until I started failing, and I thought something's got to be wrong here with my equipment. Yeah. That's where my brain went to immediately, and I was right, because I don't fail at drums, and sent it back.
He's a drummer, by the way, in case you don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's ever been mentioned.
Yeah, the pro mode is excellent fun. Keyboards really nail the feel of it, and the hardware is super intensive.
The keyboard's amazing.
I know.
Pro keys is so much fun. It's difficult. I've spent time in the tutorials. I can imagine on hard.
You're talking about how video games shouldn't emulate real life. I shouldn't be running, feeding myself, sort of going to work in a video game. And really, Rock Band has moved away from there, because it has opened up a world where, in my wildest dreams, I can play keyboard.
Do you think it'll be the flute for Rock Band 4? Their big instrument they use.
How many things are? How many flute songs would we be able to take part in?
Quite a lot of Enya, I'd say.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fair bit of Enya.
Greatest hits of Enya track pack would be a day one download for me. Right, so second-hand news, basically news that we've picked up from elsewhere, and we now pass off to you guys. Kinect's come out, in America at least, but a few of us in the room have had hands-on experience with Kinect.
I've flapped around with it a bit.
Steve's flapped around, Mike's flapped around.
I've jigged around. I've jigged around.
Chris stood up manly and took part before he injured himself. Trying to, flail towards someone else. Dan, have you had a chance to get your hands on Kinect?
Well, I'm actually, now that we're peddling second-hand news, money for old rope, and when I say money for old rope, please use the donate button. We're all struggling. I'm saying that now. Yeah, last week on the show, I was dismayed because there was no Eurogamer chat, and there was supposed to be a whole new set of guests on this show to discuss Eurogamer.
Oh, Dan, please don't start listening how many times this podcast has let people down, because if people hear it in a concise list read back to them, I think that might be the end of us.
Yeah, well, I mean, the list that I have caused is, that's gigantic in itself, isn't it, in a way? So the point is, now that we have the forum, now that we have it all nice and open, I think Mike should take us down a little stroll down Eurogamer Avenue. That's here.
Yeah, well, let's connect it nicely. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but I said it.
Yes, you did.
Just move on. You don't need to bring up that you did.
I'm impressed with myself, though, and I've got to explain that. Anyway,
At least someone is. Carry on.
Let's move on.
Let's
like the other one.
Yeah, the Wii. No. Well, let's connect it nicely. Yeah, I played Dance Central at Eurogamer, and I'm desperate. Me and Chris are desperately worried that I myself don't have a clue what I'm talking about because I did not get it. I played it. I basically felt like I was following an exercise video with no feedback, no input. It wasn't a game to me. It was a weird guy dancing on screen, and me. But you know, IGN gave it a fat old 8, and that's a great score. So I'm missing it. Anyone else got any knowledge about why this game is better than I think it is?
Well, listeners, I don't want to promise anything that we can't deliver, but all going well, I should have Kinect hands-on impressions to deliver next week, especially with Dance Central. Anyone make a reference to the fact that I'm effectively crippled now would do nothing but bring me to tears. So let's scoot over that.
Oh, what do you?
Bob your head?
You could dance on your hands.
Oh wow!
So yeah, Mike is the only one who's played Dance Central. I'm just a little bit skeptical that maybe somehow because many people who were stepping up at the Eurogamer Expo to dance with Dance Central, it may not have been calibrated correctly for every user who pop up. You know, people are different shapes and different sizes.
Hey.
Also, how was the lighting? Was the lighting?
Yeah, no,
okay?
I mean, like I say, I could see
Kinect is-
myself moving. There was no problem capturing my image. There's no feedback for you. You've got no input how well you're doing. You got your rock band games where you instantly, if you miss a note, you get a clang. On this, you miss a dance move, you've got no idea.
Did it not? Well, it doesn't tell you when you miss a dance move.
No, not a single little feedback that I can tell.
Doesn't
from
tell
the
you
screen.
when you miss a dance move.
No, not clearly. And you know,
Maybe you didn't miss
that's-
a move.
maybe I didn't miss a move. That's it. I've got to say, hundreds of people gathered round. I strutted my stuff. They were cheering, but
You
that might
do
have been
the
cheering.
YMCA really well.
So this will be a product that each of you will respectively be purchasing, presumably.
I don't know if I'm going to buy Kinect. It's too expensive. As much as I want it, I think I'm going to.
For what
to-
possible reason would you want this device?
Minority Report menu navigation,
Oh, menus.
Okay.
Interesting.
and I want to be able to tell my Xbox to get Xbox oven at 220.
Yeah.
Xbox pizza in oven. Xbox pizza in mouth.
Well, this is a feature I didn't know I had, but apparently if you stand in front of Kinect while it's on standby or off, it'll log on independent users based on your facial recognition.
Yeah, it definitely does do that.
That's pretty sweet. I mean,
That is some hands-on experience that I
Sounds
have
like
had.
Big Brother.
yeah.
People have complained that Kinect is a little bit laggy and it's not meant for true 1-2-1 experience. But what I saw in the tech demo when I was taking part in Kinect, I was very impressed how accurately my avatar was mimicking my exact body popping. So
That's because you were in a state of cripplement, as I've said earlier. So it only had to log several frames per second.
no, you see, this was before I was. I don't know if we should carry on using the phrase crippled.
Oh God, what have we been doing?
Yeah,
What have we
yeah.
been doing?
Retarded. We'll go with retarded instead.
How about handicapped?
Yeah, Kinect as promised. I mean, it's a little bit too casual though. I mean, I suppose we kind of fall into the hardcore category as much as I don't want to be part of any type of group
Eve
who
Online
label
package.
The Eve
themselves
Online user,
hardcore.
Just to,
Don't talk over me, Steve.
oh.
Kinect, it could deliver a lot, but at the moment, it's too expensive for me to get. Too expensive for Dance Central and menu navigation. I'm just going to hold off for a bit. Mike, are you buying Kinectables then?
Well, if my dream about there being 4.4 million copies sold is true, then I'll have to join in.
Mike, did you have a dream that Kinectables sold 4.4 million copies?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was last night. It was a big one.
Jesus.
It was more of a nightmare. I was genuinely scared for the whole
I had a
world.
similar dream about iPet
Yeah, well, iPad's
selling
beautiful.
2.1 million copies.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's all coming true.
So, anyone dream about a Wii game last night?
I've
Might
not.
sold.
I've never been a virtual pet guy. Like Tamagotchis took off, I rebelled against it. I did. I don't. I just a virtual pet. A virtual pet. Really? How much emotion? How much?
Have you not? You've seen that lion's face? They tumble, they rock, they wink at you. Those little tigers.
It's a
wink
lot of
at you.
stress as well, virtual pet.
Oh, God.
I mean, if you're talking about the first wave of Tamagotchis, Chris, I mean, you were obviously right at that age where you were sort of listening to Marilyn Manson and Rage Against the Machine. So when somebody asked you what you were rebelling against, you'd say, "What have you got?" And they were like, "Well, we got these virtual pets," and you were like, "Right, they're on the list."
First on the list.
I will not rest until every Tamagotchi is dead.
Well, mine all died straight away.
That's very dark, Chris. Very dark.
I know you like Pokemon back then.
Oh, I did
Was
play the
that
first Pokemon game.
Not similar to Virtual Pet?
Not really.
There's a game around it.
It's not.
Game.
No, the whole feed your pet, put it to bed, get it out of bed, give it a ball.
Anything else about Pokemon?
Didn't Tamagotchis have 3 pixels to work with as
They're
well?
amazing.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, look, I'll admit, I'm willing to admit that I once had a Tamagotchi as a young man.
did you?
And
Oh my God!
I had a Jurassic Park Tamagotchi, and
You had a Jurassic. What was? You had a Jurassic Park Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm gonna get on eBay as soon as we're finished here.
Was it a Dennis
What
Nedry
species did you have?
it was a T-Rex.
You had a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I still believe that they should all be destroyed.
Well,
Like,
I gave mine to a friend when I went on holiday so he could look after it for me. So I can safely say I love them so much.
you couldn't find any way of fitting that Tamagotchi in your suitcase.
Well, I didn't want
really.
to be like rude to my parents, and I was out there and Tamagotching, and I thought, who can look after it? My mate Ken. He'll keep it alive. It died. But that's the beauty of life and death and the circle we follow.
What Tamagotchis can suck my balls.
They can't,
I
they're
hope
just
they never
digital
come back.
creatures.
I hate this circle of life business. You know what? There's a guy in work. I sit next to him, right? He's had a cold for 2 months, right? Doesn't cover his hands when he coughs. Doesn't do anything. And he gave me the cold. And then he said, "Oh, don't worry, it's the circle of life." And he was laughing it off. I was ready to punch him in the nose. It's not the circle of life.
How are you supposed to tell someone who doesn't already know at this age that you have to put your hand to your mouth when you cough? To put your hand to your mouth. Does he wash his hands after the toilet?
Oh, I'm not watching his actions that closely, but
Maybe you should.
Yeah, I have to start that.
well, I mean, you just follow him
It's
into
clear
the
that's-
toilets. Good
It's
advice.
clear that someone needs to keep an eye on him, though.
Yeah.
My word.
No, but it's bloody disgusting.
I agree. It's not on. So,
Without-
moving on from Kinect and all such things, that whole Supreme Court thing in America, everyone's telling me, oh, you got to use your voice, you've got to vote. I actually have an American postcode that I can use for things like that. So I registered my name, and then I read the small print, and basically American gamers are getting all up in arms because they want violent pornographic video games to be immediately available to minors over the counter.
I think the major worry here is that it's how far it'll go, and if you let it in and you let them, censor this kind of stuff, they'll start slipping it down. It'll start as the worst games. Eventually, you won't be able to play Super Mario Galaxy 7, which
I couldn't
will be a real
believe.
shame.
I mean, seriously, there's this whole freedom of speech thing. Okay, I know, I agree not everything's black and white, but maybe 5-year-olds shouldn't be able to play Grand Theft Auto 4. Maybe, just
But
just perhaps.
The rating's already there to stop it. It's that. Have you seen the categorization for the which games are to be specifically set aside? They actually use like the official test for homicidal movies, I think, which is a certain classification of. It contains behaviour that would be counted by a sane person to be depraved and abhorrent, and it's just so subjective. It can go anywhere from there. I mean, Kinectimals is a bit depraved. I mean, that's putting 2 tigers to wrestle.
Sounds like it's going to be a hard push, to be honest.
Well,
get
California
this
does this. I mean,
done.
it's my political point there. We put the politics away, didn't we?
Hi,
Politics.
Californian listeners.
Hello.
I love you guys.
So
Yeah,
far.
okay, well, basically, if there's any knock onto the industry, which obviously there would be, that is a shame. If games that maybe would have had no problem getting the green light have a problem now, that's bad. We like violent games, but then again, we're old enough to play them. If parents want to buy the games for their kids, then they're still going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Dan Afflis.
I've got no opinion on this matter.
No, you got no opinion. What about? I mean, the censorship of video games is obviously a tough one.
Yeah.
What if your regular shooter or your regular with a bit of blood got edited right up to the pornographic status?
Well, I mean, people. When I say I've got no opinion, I have a very controversial opinion on this.
Well, I think
on
that's
this
do
issue,
it.
and it's an opinion people don't like.
Do it.
That's fine.
Right, I don't.
Ready, game, fire away.
I agree with Jack Thompson.
Beg pardon.
Elaborate.
Yeah. Well, it's
Elaborate
monkey
who
see,
is
monkey
first
do.
for the-
Get it off there.
Yeah, I mean, we should elaborate that Jack Thompson is the disbarred lawyer who had a very big issue with all things video game related that weren't happy and fluffy.
Yes.
And generally considered a bit of a demon to all gamers. And so you seem to agree that his policy that violent video games will eventually spill over to hate and crime is valid.
Well, you know, let's face it. The majority of people who are sitting down playing video games aren't the smartest guys in the world. The majority of people who are sitting down watching horror movies aren't the smartest guys in the world. And you show them something, you know, they want to give it a go.
My advice to everyone is to try everything once. They might try something, give it a go. If you like it, you know, maybe you found your calling.
Well, I mean, the fact is, like, what you watch should be, as a child, what you watch should be sort of dictated by what your parents do. And frankly, parents aren't doing those things anymore. So now we have to welcome in a big governmental nanny to sort it all out. And I'm not necessarily not in favour of that. I think it's all right.
Oh, I can't believe your career in politics ended so early, Dan. I can still dream of the days of you shuffling up to the front of the press conference to straighten your tie and go, I think it's all right. Give the press a nod and step down.
Well, you know, I don't know why everybody is so against this nanny culture. You know, famously grandmothers, they've got peppermints in their bag. They're always nice to you, cook your food. Yeah. What's the problem?
Logic is infallible.
This whole monkey see, monkey do thing, yeah, there is an element of that, but I believe there was violence around before video games were invented. Okay, next.
Well, no, that's 100% true, but the
it is, yeah.
The innovations in violence.
Innovations that you started.
Maybe all the stupid people should just be rounded up and dealt with.
Is that in a game?
God. No, in real life, so that you know, the more intelligent people out there can just play.
So here on Ready Game Fire, we advocate the murder of the mentally ill and the mentally defective.
I say at least two of us are in trouble. If that's the case.
Yeah, we won't tell you which ones they are.
And I say we. Obviously, by that I mean Chris and Chris alone. These are his views, not mine.
I
want these people protected from trouble. I want these video games censored right down to the core.
Can't we just get rid of the people, and therefore we don't have to get rid of the video games? This is a gaming podcast, not a people podcast.
Right. You know what would solve all of the problems of the censorship issue?
What's that?
If every game on the market was basically a derivative of FIFA.
Hello.
Done.
I'd fall out of game so fast if that happened.
Well, you know, if you want kids to stop killing other kids, let's get a few more FIFAs out there.
Alright, fine. Kids, carry on with the mass murdering. I'd like to play Dead Space 2. Goldeneye 007. It's out on the Wii. I've got it now. I've got my gold Classic Controller Pro, which was an amazing bonus for what is an amazing game. I was a massive fan of the original Goldeneye. One of my top 5 games of all time. I know not all people think it deserves to be there, Edwards, but it is the premier console FPS. I mean, we are living in a golden age of FPSs. You can't move for the fuckers. But Goldeneye...
That doesn't mean it's a golden age. Not by any means, you know. Sort of back in the 1930s, I couldn't move for fucking polio, but it's the golden age.
So, yeah, basically, Goldeneye, the current generation redo, is more of a reboot of the film as a game, rather than in any way, shape or form a kind of replica of the N64 game from '97.
You know what?
Yeah, go on.
Now that I'm thinking, the world was ravaged with polio. That was the golden age of polio.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Golden N64. I mean,
and polio.
I mean, that's one of my favourite illnesses. It blew away that whole thing. The N64 obviously was the console that came in and basically, I think, started party gaming. I mean, it was the first one to have, well, on the mass market.
I disagree. Micro Machines on the Mega Drive.
Oh, yeah, damn it, good point. Well, for me anyway, it was...
Well, my Mike didn't play any games before the N64 came out.
That's true. But I played loads when it came out. Yeah, I don't know if it's my childhood imagination getting away with me, but I'm sure I played 12 hours of one game in Temple. I mean, with Pistol's License to Kill, we made our own little Cops and Robbers game, and it was wonderful. That game is amazing, and playing the new one just a few minutes ago, excellent. Modern Warfare on the Wii, maybe, but that is not a bad thing if all you got is a Wii. Looks great, plays great.
If all you've got is a Wii, get something else. Unless you're
No,
unless you're 9 years old, then
No.
fair play to you.
I'd say
You
all
started
need
playing
now is
games
the
before
Goldeneye.
Mike.
That's it. All you need is Goldeneye. I'm serious. I loved it. I think it's brilliant, and the multiplayer is super duper.
The single player for Goldeneye is fantastic if you enjoy Modern Warfare's skew of FPSs. I mean, it's definitely brought it into the modern warfare age.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yes,
It's dramatic.
because obviously the original GoldenEye, the single player campaign, not so great.
Oh, I disagree. It was.
To each his own, Daniel.
Yeah.
I think it's because the
Steve-
multiplayer experience was far superior to it.
But it was great that it stood up on its own. I mean, Steve, obviously, you not a fan of GoldenEye, but just not something you click with.
Well, I didn't play it much when I was younger. The reason I've started to dislike it more is that it always ends up on top of
Going against the grain.
the #1 FPS list of all time.
So, what's your number one FPS from that era?
Quake 2.
Half-Life, Quake 2.
I didn't play PC games then.
Well, as Chris says, you didn't used to play games.
Yeah.
Hey, played GoldenEye.
This isn't ready board game fire, Mike.
Yep.
But anyway, keeping up with what I was saying earlier, I've played GoldenEye for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
the new one. And you say Modern Warfare for the Wii. I think it's a bit ridiculous, almost sickening how Modern Warfare is. I mean, everything. about
It's
it.
Activision though, so it's fair enough that they've done that. If it was another,
Yeah.
Replace characters from the Bill with poor versions of Daniel Craig, and you've got.
oh my God.
Nice.
Can we? Right. I'm pretty sure this is how copywriting law works. That's out there. Copyright RGF 2010. ITV, if you're listening,
You're not having it. You're not having it.
we want £5 million to commission. What are we going to call it?
Golden Bill.
Golden Bill.
But yeah, no, I think it's amazing what they've done. The amount of polish in that game, the amount of just effort they put into it. You sometimes think that with the Wii, the third parties, they don't really go for it, but they have gone for this all force, and it looks great, and it plays amazing.
I like the way they've released it, like 4 days before the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I like that brave move.
Well, it's not. It's good for Wii owners because we've all moved on from our Wii love affairs, and we often don't
Sure,
think
they
about
were.
how people who just own Wii's feel about things like Black Ops coming out. Now they've got something great that they can keep themselves occupied with. It is the right thing to do. This is how you do a remake or a reboot. You
Absolutely.
don't go back and retread old ground. If you want to play old GoldenEye, get the XBLA version of Perfect Dark. It's fantastic. Seriously, get it. We'll play online. It'll be amazing. But yeah, the new single player is what it should have been. Except, I'll tell you this. The voice actor and the character model that they've got for Alec Trevelyan is no Sean Bean. He doesn't even come close to Sean Bean. That has been a fail on their part. Other than that, got no complaints. Afflis, hit me.
Got nothing for you.
Surely that Bean problem should knock a few points off its
Bean
reasons.
problem?
Well,
Listen,
the lack of lookalike for Bean.
Judi
Oh,
Dench is in
Bean,
it.
yeah.
Judi Dench is in it, and she was in the original 95 GoldenEye film,
Amazing.
okay? They should have brought back Bean.
Yeah, he's too busy doing O2 adverts, I think.
Presentation is incredible. The way they go into the introduction song with the re-recorded GoldenEye theme song by Nicole Schwarzenegger. Wow.
Schwarzenegger.
What's her name?
Schwarzenegger. The online play, have you tried it yet? What's the deal? Can you play with friends directly? Can you link into your friends? I know obviously the Wii has the old...
I'm not playing the
friendly
Wii
codes.
online ever again.
No?
I'm never going down that avenue again.
'Cause-
Sitting there, all excited, bouncing up and down on my seat, waiting in my Smash Brothers room.
The online play looks great, but I don't... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it there.
We can't comment on
Yeah,
we can't comment on
No,
online
we'll
because
cut
we haven't seen it. But I'll tell you this: yeah, they've done well with the Wii's limitations. But every time I play the Wii now, I'm like, it's 2010, guys. It's fucking 2010.
It's time
This
for some Wii
shit
trophies.
does not fly anymore. Okay, the four-player GoldenEye, locally split screen, looks like a worse version of the original N64.
tragic,
You can't see what's going on. And in the advertising campaign, some guy had the genius idea to show only the 4-player, and they thought, yeah, let's zoom straight in on one of those panels. That's a great idea to sell the game. So on my 37-inch television, you've got 1/4 of a 4-player game on the Wii, blown up to a ridiculous size, with 4 yuppies sitting around going, "Oh, this is a lot of fun." And I was like, "Well, I'm not getting that game." So well done, Nintendo. That particular campaign on your part nearly convinced me not to buy the game. Why would you do that? Why?
Those are some jagged edges on those. I mean, it's just outrageous. It's like they got cut apart with a little saw.
Where's Ant and Dec? Where's Ant and Dec?
Yeah.
Just Ant and Dec talking to me about
Cullum?
how great Goldeneye is, with Cullum scatting the watch theme music.
Speaking of which, weren't we going to perform our own Cullum scats on the show today?
Please, Dan, off you go.
Go down.
Well, but by we, obviously, I mean myself excluded.
In tribute to the great man, we're now going to do our own interpretations of certain video game themes. Mike, what have you prepared for us?
Let me get my scatting voice on. Skibbity-doo,
Okay.
skibbity-doo, skip-skip-doo.
And take it away, Michael Power.
A skibbity-doo, a skibbity-doo, a skibbity-doo-ba-da-doo, a skibbity-doo-da-doo, skibbity-ba-ba-da-scoop-ba-doo, a whippity-doo-ba-dow.
Mike, please don't shit in my ears any longer.
Oh my god! It's like if you're watching Nevermind the Buzzcocks and they do the intro round and you have to press mute because it's too embarrassing to look at. That was turn the channel heat right there, Mike. You need to not do that again, please. Right, who's next?
You ready?
Who's under the fire like that?
Steve, what have you got for us? What have you prepared for us?
I've been inspired by Cullum, so I've gone for Mario World.
Go on.
Hit us.
I'm just gonna hold on.
Slap water.
Just gargling my water.
Did you just purr at me?
I gargled water, but annoyingly my glass didn't have much water in it, so
It's probably because you didn't do it very well because you're used to gargling balls.
Balls.
I do like to add water when that's happening.
Yes.
What? Anyway, yeah. A skipa dipa 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 doo. A skipa pips, a skipa pip top two patap skipa papa chica pucha skipa paps skipa pip ba ba.
Steve, your hard work paid off. That landed.
Thank you very much, mate.
Dan, how do you feel about this segment?
Is it working for you?
I think.
I gotta be honest, I'm an absolute wreck right now. Okay, Chris, let's.
Right, here we go then. Chris, what have we got?
Well, I'm going to do Metal Gear Solid, obviously. Right, Dan, can you count me in, please?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Something like that.
Not a fan of that one.
Different
You do different take, you try actually scat it. I wanna
different
hear- I
people,
wanna
different
hear it go.
needs. Though.
I wasted a 1, 2, 3, 4 on you.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I was
Dan-
thrown off by the one to do before.
Who won? If you had to say out of the 3, or include Cullum, who of the 4?
Yeah.
Who was the best scat?
In terms of who has won, it's very much like asking, how would you like to die?
Yeah.
There's no winning one, is there?
Okay,
There's
who
no.
of the 4 would you most like not to have the ability to talk anymore? Then
Right, that's fair enough. Obviously, Mike.
Oh.
yeah,
He's done. He's done.
it took New Low.
Oh. Steve's Goldeneye. Steve's Metal Solid scat was really good.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris
go on
is-
then. We'll do it.
What? No, what? My Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you were praising my Mario.
It was
one.
great. That was great as well. I think
Oh,
I
I
think
don't-
Chris's lackluster scat was a
Can
bit
I-
of a shame.
I was doing that badly, deliberately.
You do it
I
well.
could scat if I want, but I don't want to.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not. I won't be doing that.
Double dare you.
No. No. So I'll tell you what else has caught my eye this week.
Gaze.
On top of my usual. That's
Gay
not going
watching.
in.
We're delving into sort of gay territory.
That's not going
here,
in.
A lot of our talk.
Okay. No, I'll tell you what's going in. It's the new Microsoft dashboard. It's oh man, I read on Twitter. Have you got Microsoft's fail update? And I was like, well, that's got to be a misprint. Turns out I read it wrong, but oh my god, that's it may as well be called the fail update. Jesus Christ, that new dashboard is like you're watching the effing CBBC channel.
I mean, it's one of those things that it might sound a little arsey to talk about an overhaul of the the front screen that you can log into, but
No.
it's ugly. It's offensively ugly, and it doesn't really add much to my experience. I guess if you haven't got Kinect, it detriments my experience because it killed my Xbox.
Well,
Dead.
It killed your
It
Xbox.
did, yeah.
Explain how.
Started installing it, cancelled it, tried to install it again because it froze, and didn't do it. Turned up Xbox on, off on, updated it, bar, whoop, and boo, dead.
Mike, welcome to the not-so-exclusive club, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my old Xbox for 3 years, and I thought I don't use it very much, but I thought, you know what, this red incomplete circle nonsense is
Well done.
it's so overblowing it. I mean, yeah, they say 54% of them have failed, but it's dead. Yeah, I'm on board. It's a piece of nonsense. I can't believe it happened from their update. I mean, what can you possibly do? I mean. And on top of that, it's just so ugly. If it had happened, I kind of glad my TV probably told my Xbox, don't do it. I don't want it on there. We don't want to look at it. Die.
So yeah, in conclusion to this dashboard malarkey, I realise it's just a interface, but it's the super casual, family-friendly avenue the 360 has been descending down into for the past 4 years, and I'm not happy about it.
We hate families.
Dan, you liked the blades, didn't you?
I didn't even like when they first changed it from the old one with the blades that come all along the screen, and they changed that entirely. And when you had the avatar nonsense going on, where I hated that, like, because for me it was always like, oh, they've seen that people like the goofy, wacky shit that's on the Wii. Let's immediately do it. As soon as the Wii came out and I saw it becoming very popular with the novelty gamers and with the people who don't really play video games, I've said that this is popular and this is the way things are going to go. And lo and behold, on the 360 now, you pick your little avatar, you roll around, he walks around, he smiles. I don't care. I don't care. The interface can be I can be like a manual interface for all I care. If I have to put a crank at the side of my TV, I don't want to see cartoon characters on there. I don't want to be friends with my Xbox. It's a machine. We're not buddies. You know what I mean?
Basically, I've had no choice but to update my Xbox. I feel ripped off.
Yeah, don't feel bad, Chris, because I have also been ripped off recently as well. I got tricked into, I got deceived by an infomercial. Bilked, I call it. One of these ones, they're sort of... I mean, the marketing is brilliant because the demographic they're aiming for is sort of overweight single losers who are up at 3 a.m. watching TV.
Who's that?
You're not putting yourself in that demographic, are you, Dan?
Well, they put me in that demographic because I purchased what they were selling, and it was basically I was watching it and I was watching it in bed, and they were advertising this brand new steam cleaner.
That was your first mistake.
Oh my god!
I'm already intrigued.
And I was looking around my bedroom, and it's all hardwood floors and such, and it was covered in detritus. And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, it's 3 a.m. I'm single, I'm overweight, my place is ruined. I look at the TV. The guy who's got the steam cleaner, he's living in a dream home. And I'm thinking, this is for me. I dial the number, give him my credit card details. $120 later,
Jesus.
the delivery man arrives at my door, and he hands me the box, and I was like, what's this? And I was like, oh yes, my late night ordering. So I opened it up, and it's not as good as it first appears, because it's simply, it being steam, all it does is, it pushes the dirt into the side, and into hot steamy piles against the baseboard, and that's all there is to it. It hasn't improved.
I tell you what, you are going to draw the ladies in with hot, steamy piles of filth in the corner of your rooms, aren't you?
My floors may be beautifully sanitized, but my life is still a wreck, and I'm still very depressed.
Don't use it on yourself. That's all I can say.
Well, if I can avoid it.
You're still rolling around in your own filth, just in a different way of doing so.
I mean, the filth is now very much localized. It's all along the walls. It's in piles, and when I clean the floor with it again, it's gonna get steamy in here.
Organized filth. I love it. Ooh.
So there you go, Chris. Don't feel so bad about that Xbox update, because you didn't spend $120 on a steam cleaner that's not very good. And I now will try and stop myself from watching late night infomercials, if only until I get paid again.
Well, life's all about learning from the mistakes, Dan. Just don't make the same ones again. Don't say, hey, I can now clean my ceiling with this this easy-to-operate ultraviolet mop. Stay away.
Well, what happens next week?
I can now clean my way to a happier life. And that's what I thought, and there you go. The marketing people, they really did a number on me with this one.
What happens next week when you're watching it and they've got a convenient new invention that sorts out this problem with the side bit. And I mean, there'll be a new problem, but I think
That's true.
if I know you, Dan, you might get hooked again, mate. I think that's how they get you.
It is how they get. I mean, I'm already knee deep in this Steam Cleaner fiasco now. If there's a way out, yeah, I'll put another $50 down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the end of episode 2 of Ready Game Fire. So it's goodbye from Stephen Edwards.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Michael Power.
Power out.
It's a goodbye from Daniel Afflis.
Goodbye, everybody.
And it's goodbye from me.